Thanks for joining this episode of The Blade Boys. I'm Ted Flett.
And I'm Myth Doss.
Myth, it's Worlds!
It is Worlds time!
Woo!
Like, where did the time go?
Season has flown by. There's been highs, lows, quads, flops.
There's been a lot of quads.
A lot of quad action happening. Twizzles, new twizzles out of like crazy footwork and lunges.
Yep.
And like, now it all culminates.
Yeah, I know, in one big finale, and this is the Worlds before the Olympic year, so this is like the Worlds where like all the countries are trying to get their spots for the Olympics, so there's a lot at stake in this particular World Championships, and it'll be interesting to see like if some countries that have historically had a lot of entries going into the Olympics will have the same number of entries for their particular respective disciplines, or if newcomers will sort of snatch those spots.
Totally. I recall, for example, I always loved the Worlds before the Olympics. Like, I think this is the best Worlds of the four.
Yes.
For sure.
For sure.
As people, try and win spots for their respective country teams, but also gain momentum for themselves by becoming world champion, or at least medaling or placing higher than the other country person, who's on their team. I mean, everyone's goals are a bit different, but everybody wants buzz going into the Olympic season. Yeah. I mean, I think of a skater like Joanne Rochette, who in 2009 finally stepped onto the podium.
Yes.
Outskated Miki Ando, outskated Mao Asada, was second behind Yoona Kim, and then became one of the favorites heading into the Olympic Games when, years prior, she was sort of hovering around 8th, 9th, 10th. I mean, she really set herself apart. So the same thing can happen. I mean, I think it's Finland in Helsinki. It will be such a pressure cooker situation. People will either shine or combust.
Oh, we can't wait for that.
Yeah,
for the shining part. We don't want to see.
Come on, we like
there's a little drama with the combustion. Yeah. As long as it's the skaters we don't like that combustion. Just kidding. Just kidding.
They also they become likable when they all show that they're human or they're fallible, and then they actually win more. Look at Gracie Gold, right?
Well, another thing is that
Gracie,
if you win the Worlds prior to the Olympics, there is that huge pressure in the Olympics then to replicate that, and you go in as the reigning world champion. So, like for example, with Patrick Chan after winning Worlds in 2013, there was a huge pressure going on into the Olympics. Yeah. So who knows? Sometimes like that championship medal around your neck might be a blessing or a curse, but I mean, usually it's a blessing at the time because you want the win. But
but no, it can be a curse.
It can be a lot of pressure. So we'll see what happens with this World, and now we're going to recap every discipline for the World Championships and kind of provide a couple predictions on some little fancy predictions.
So Myth and I have not shared our predictions for the World Championships or what we think will transpire, and so we've each done some very creative artwork. I'm sure yours is lovely. Mine's not lovely. In predicting who's going to be, who will be the medalist, who we expect. Some of them might be based on points, and some of them might be a bit. Admittedly, mine are a little bit aspirational in some instances. But here we go. First off, let's start with the ladies.
The women's.
Myth. So I'll position my prediction card.
Okay,
right,
and I got one.
And the big reveal. One, two, three.
Okay.
All right, interesting. So I've predicted that Evgenia Medvedeva of Russia, 2006 world champion, is going to repeat. Ashley Wagner is also going to repeat, in my opinion, as the silver medalist. And Kaitlyn Osman is going to bust her way, put Canada back onto the ladies' world podium.
And I said Evgenia Medvedeva would also win her back-to-back world championship, which, fun fact, would be the first back-to-back world champion since Michelle Kwan. Yes, 2001. Exactly. So that's been a while. So there have been like some switcheroos between like ladies world champions. We've had like Mal win three times.
Yoona
twice. But like they like to mix it up. So this year maybe Evgenia might strike gold, and she's gunning for that. She doesn't care if she has that world championship status. She'd be like, yeah, I am the world champion. Yeah, I'm going to win the Olympics. So she really wants to set herself up for that. And in second place, I have Anna Pogorelaya from Russia as well. And in third place, I have my homegirl, Miss Kaitlyn Osman of Canada.
Okay, so Pogorelaya, why do you think she's gonna put it together?
Okay, so Pogorelaya, she's had a really, really good season. She has gotten that nerves thing that she usually has gotten in the past. She's gotten that off her back. She has the status of world bronze medalist, arguably even world silver to some people. But she is one of the top 3 skaters in the world, in my opinion. And assuming she doesn't let her nerves get to her, and she's also getting the component scores to boot, which is great because I've always liked her. I just think that her errors have kind of been detrimental to her breaking into that top tier of PCS.
Yep.
But I like her programs. I think she has that sophisticated. So every year you wonder who's going to be the sophisticated skater on the podium, and I think Anna's kind of put a stake in that. Evgenia, she still has this youthful quality to her, and somebody like, for example, Kaitlyn Osman, who we're predicting to be the bronze medalist, has more of a sassy quality, and there are not a lot of mature, like, super elegant skaters. Like, you have a lot of teens, like Radionova, and unfortunately, Satoko Miyahara, who we might have had in our predictions, is injured, so that will actually make it easier for, like we think, for a couple skaters to
door open, absolutely,
to have the door open, including the bronze medalist. So we have Kaitlyn Osman of Canada as the bronze medalist.
Yeah, let me talk to Pokerlax.
Oh,
I do like her short program. I think you're right. It does show sophisticated, and she uncovers some personality, which is nice because she's had a pretty severe, facial expression.
The ice princess.
Total ice princess. In
now
so
she's the
many
ice
programs
queen.
for so many years.
Yeah.
And it's nice to see her with Scent of a Woman, something to, a bit warmer. She's sensual. She has great lines where she can actually carry that off. And when she chooses more adult and mature music versus her teammate Evgenia, she can come off as a bit more authentic. I think for us, how old is it? Is Anna like
she's
17 or 18?
Yeah, she's super young. She's
super young.
Yeah.
I think Memorial is like way too, like, why is she grieving and mourning at such a young age? I can't pick up what she's laying down. I think she and Evgenia are picking free skate music that is way beyond their age and ability. That's just me.
I think they're doing that deliberately, though, because that's kind of how you get component score. You're like, I mean, it depends on the program, but like, if you choose like more youthful, like, movie soundtracks and like cute little things.
Well, and I'm not proposing like this is a lollipop gang, but something that's like a bit like,
although somebody
somewhere between everyone's dying and like the next thing you know, they're gonna skate to just people crying straight in.
Yeah.
Like, it's so heavy and it's so macabre. I think they could choose slightly lighter themes that I would find more authentic. Reserve this really emotional, draining music for maybe if they make it into their 20s. If Russia's still studying them.
If they make it into, they're going to get 5 world championships before that, and then they'll retire at the age of 12. So,
blown out hips.
Before that happens.
Yeah. So, I mean, I do like Anna. I just think that a couple other skaters have a bit of an edge. I think Ashley Wagner has had, for her, actually a really good season.
Yes.
She started out strong at Skate America with a conservative program, but won it. Of course, she imploded, didn't do well at Trophy de France, which is a bit of a reminder, or Cup of China and Trophy de France. Her second Grand Prix placement didn't go well, and I think that was a bit of a wake-up call for her, which she showed at U.S. Nationals when she brought her A game to arguably, in some people's opinion, win, but come a very close second behind Karen Chen.
Yep.
And in typical form, she's bypassed the 4 continents. So she is really preserving herself, I think, to peak. She showed at U.S. Nationals that she's absolutely still got the goods. She can rotate everything. The jumps are big and fluid and great landings and so forth. She's got great emotion. The short program has phenomenal sass.
Yeah.
The long program is soulful and a bit of a departure for her, which is also nice. So I give Wagner actually the edge too. I think she's going to sort of slip in as a bit of a dark horse and a spoiler.
I think Wagner is definitely one of the people fighting to go on the podium. Like she will be key in the U.S. maintaining 3 spots. Like they're depending on her. Not like, even though Karen Chen is U.S. champ, that's a lot of pressure on her. And I don't know if she's quite got the
she doesn't have the international recognition.
Or the international
for her senior world debut.
Yeah.
And Mariah Bell's, I'm not expecting much. I think it's gonna be a 2-member Olympic team. And the battle in San Jose at the U.S. Nationals in 2018.
Oh, that's going to be... it's going to be a cat fight. Get
Mariah,
the
Gracie,
already.
Mariah.
If Polina comes back.
Ashley. Holy smokes.
Yeah, it's going
to be a humdinger.
So, hopefully, for the sake of the U.S., I think Mariah might actually, like, do a little bit better than a lot of people are expecting. Karen, I'm not sure, because she gets a lot of under rotations, and the international panels are especially hard on those, so we'll see. But you're right, Ashley is a gunner for the podium, but I think Pogorelaya, her consistency and her ability to rotate jumps, which the Russians are all very, very good at, like, they're, compared to the other countries, they're not as prone to under rotations. They are just that much quicker.
Yeah, I just feel the accessibility of Osman's and Wagner's skating. Being able to skate along with it and understand the story that they're telling and just enjoy the success when they land their jumps spot on, which, you know, when they do are almost unparalleled in the world. I think it's just, it resonates more strongly with the audience. I think Pogorelaya will probably be 4th or 5th, you know, at worst. But
yeah,
I mean,
for sure.
My latest prediction is also a little bit aspirational. Yeah. I have a feeling that, you know,
Russia
could easily be up there. Satskova might even wedge away, and it could be, you know,
Russia doesn't have to worry about 3 spots. Let's just say that.
And of course, Karolina Costner coming back with such a strong showing. The European Championships coming second in the free skate, so edging Pogorelaya there.
Yeah,
she might be pacing herself beautifully to win a medal at. In Helsinki, but I also think her long-term goals, she could take this over this. Like, really, I think this will just be practice for her to get back into the circuit under the big bright lights.
She's like 30. She's like 30 years old. So for even showing up and being a contender for the podium, which I like, we both agree that she is like really phenomenal for her. And obviously, working with Alexei Mishin has helped. Maintain her technical ability and kind of get her that competitive spirit back again after her time off. But we should talk about Kaitlyn Osman, who is kind of a bit of a... She broke out a couple of seasons ago winning a Grand Prix, but she suffered through injury. And this year, she is the breakout... Like, she's like the sensation that everyone's talking about. Yeah. And oh my God, if she can get it together, like she's nailed her short programs this year. Like I think other than four continents, where she had the fall in the double axel. Like other than that, she has been nailing everything. The first half of her free skate, she's been nailing. If she can get that second half, like just maintain that focus and deliver that performance. It's not my favorite free skate of her, but it does showcase her really good qualities and. Man, like if she can score 212 making mistakes, like if she scores a little bit better than that, she's definitely a shoo-in for the podium because I don't think that, like, you know, with Mia Hara out and kind of Anna sort of maxing out her you know, her scoring potential. I mean, I don't know if she'll challenge Medvedeva, but
will anyone challenge?
I don't think anyone's going to challenge.
I think Medvedeva could probably afford one mistake, maybe even 2.
Yes,
and I think still come away with it.
She can definitely afford at least one mistake. She's so far ahead of the field because her grade of execution, she's bumped those up, and also she is one of the few skaters who does crazy technical content in the second half of her program, and honestly, she has that clout and that consistency that the judges know and love. And once you start getting above 70 component scores for like perfect programs, you deliver another perfect program and you've already gotten 70 that year, it's really hard for them to justify like dropping you below that threshold that you've already achieved. So her consistency has not only like brought her component score up, but it's also maintained it there so that even if she makes a mistake, like instead of a 72, they're going to give her a 70, right? Whereas if she was constantly making mistakes, then like for somebody like Gracie Gold, she's now dropping below 60 because she hasn't shown that consistency over time. So that's why Medvedeva probably has almost a lock on the gold medal. And I think Pogorelaya is a really strong contender for bronze. But Ashley, I would love to see Ashley on the podium as well again because that would be, you know, Ashley, you know, even after her second, or even after her silver medal last year, people still hating on her, still saying whatever they want, and she's still proving them wrong. So I personally love it when the most hated skaters online end up getting like medals
redeeming themselves,
because you know they're out there for themselves. They're wanting to do well. And when you have all this like animosity coming towards you, I mean, sticking it to those people, there's no greater feeling in the world other than the actual achievement.
My last word on Kaitlyn Osman is that I feel that we talk so much about the separation between technical and the component scores. In my opinion, Kaitlyn and her jumps, the execution, for example, of her triple lutz, I really feel that actually speaks to her components. I mean, the swoosh, the confidence, the speed with which she goes into and out of her jumps is phenomenal. It's unparalleled, I think, right now in ladies skating, and I think it pulls you. That actually still draws you in. It's not that it's in her case. It's not just the in betweens. It's the jumps, and it's this massive arc on her jumps. The control when she has it on the landings. I think she's sensational, and it would be fantastic to see her on the podium.
It's interesting because Canadian ladies haven't always been known to be the best technicians, but no shade to the Canadian ladies because we've had some great ones in the past, but they've never been known to be the powerhouses. And Gabby Dillman getting +3s across the board for her triple. Kaitlyn Osman, her triple flip triple toe is also almost +3s across the board. Those two are lighting it up. I think Gabby really has a good shot at top 5, top 6. I mean, she beat Kaitlyn at 4 continents and scored a massive score, almost won the event. But I think she is I think the Canadian ladies have a good shot to get 3 spots for next year, which is great because I would love to see Alain Chatran also go as well because we got some good ladies up in here, and we wanna show the world.
How wild would it be if Canada got 3 spots at the Olympic Games, and Japan and the US only got 2?
That would be a Twilight Zone that neither of us could have predicted, but it is a veritable possibility. And we should talk about Japan because Mai Mihara, she just came off a 4 continents win, and this is a girl who last year at the Junior Grand Prix finals was 6th, and all of a sudden, she gets a 3rd in her Grand Prix event. She comes 2nd at Japanese Nationals, and she wins an ISU championship with 4 continents. And she's arguably the #1 Japanese skater going into Worlds with Wakaba Hukuchi and Rika Hongo in lieu of Satoka Miyahara. That's going to be hard for the Japanese team to get a 3rd spot. But I think if Mai Mihara, they could pull it off. They'll need some help, but I think Mai could come 5th-ish, and
I'm just not as optimistic. She hasn't broken 70 yet in the short program, and she hasn't broken 140 in the free skate. So I just don't think she's there. And I think if she skates consistently with how she's been skating thus far this season, and she's been skating clean, she's really maxing out, in and around that 190, 195, 200 point sort of range.
Yeah, she did break 200
I don't think that's
at
gonna.
4 continents.
Well.
I think 200 is enough for about 5th or 6th place. I definitely don't think it'll challenge the podium.
Right.
But I also appreciate that she's one of the more consistent skaters out there, and there's a lot to be said about a skater who can do a 7 triple program. Just like Evgenia last year was the first 7 triple program in a while. So it's nice that the ladies are Mai is an example of a lady skater who's kind of showing technical ability. And next year, Japanese National is going to be crazy with Satoka Miyahara back, Marin Honda back. Who knows if Mao can come back.
Is Marin Honda working up to senior next year?
Oh, sorry. I would say Marin would probably be up for a senior, right? She's...
And hopefully Mao will stay in.
Yeah, Marin, she came 2nd at Junior Worlds, and she's definitely one of the top technicians. Even... Yamada, her coach, says that she's one of the most talented skaters that she's taught of her, and even more so than Miyahara possibly even, but which is crazy because Miyahara is a world silver medalist.
Right.
So even though Japan might not be well represented in the Olympics next year due to the difficulty in getting spots this year, there is a possibility for them to light it up at the Olympics. So hopefully they can get 3 spots. I would love for them to, but right now I think they'll probably be like the U.S. They'll be just shy of getting that 3rd spot.
Got 2, yeah. Shall we move on to pairs? And
we shall move on to pairs. Okay, see,
So
we're side by side right now, so we gotta do some side by side predictions.
Totally. And there probably won't be in unison because this year the Pairs teams, it's an absolute scramble. Like they've been up and down. They're all within a pretty close total point range in terms of maximums, like their best scores. This could be. I mean, the three I predict could be easily the three that aren't on the podium. It could go anyway. It could go anyway. So shall we do the big reveal here?
Okay, 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
Oh, we're like really close.
Wow, that is
we're
really
very
close. Shocking. Okay, so the biggest surprise for me and the hardest team to omit from this list was Duhamel Radford.
Yes,
Canada, the 2-time defending world champions.
And I can't recall last year if I left. I think I might have left them off the podium last year.
I think I had them like second behind.
Yeah.
Veloz trying to
You had them on the podium. You were a believer, but like this year, I don't know.
The hardest thing about that team, they're so easy to like technically.
Yeah.
And for grit and sticking with it, like stick with itness and wanting to make it happen. And I think they had a stronger season last year. Although they had problems, they had a stronger season from which to create a moment like they did in Boston.
Yes.
And I just feel like this year, their skating has just sort of, it's been beyond their reach all season long. Yeah. They've had some highs, they've had some successes for sure, like the short program at Skate Canada with a 78, a new personal best. I know they love the music. They did a bit of a costume change at the Nationals to like create a bit more interest, which they often do sort of mid-season. Third at the Grand Prix final wasn't great. Second behind Sui and Han, who didn't have the edge over Duhamel Radford in terms of mileage on their programs and experience.
At Four Continents,
At Four Continents, sorry. So it's hard to say, but I think they could easily be fourth. They could be a close third. I think if the other teams skate as well as they have shown that they can this season with the material that they've chosen, are going to be tougher to beat.
Yes, I think last year it was a great comeback for them at Worlds, and they absolutely nailed it. And if they skate like that again, they'll probably win Worlds again. But it's like really hard to like capture that moment, especially when you have a season that's been. It's not been tumultuous. It's not been a bad season at all. I mean, come on, second at Four Continents, third in the Grand Prix final. Like they won the Grand Prix. Like they haven't had a bad season, but for them, they've had a dicey season, mainly because of trying things like the triple axel. Obviously, they have new programs, things that they're trying to get used to, and also the motivation of being a 2-time reigning world champion. It's really hard to like just keep that momentum going. I mean,
but then they also sort of. They have new, what's the word? No, like not inconsistencies, but I think they have some new monkeys on their back this season, unfortunately. Yeah. So for the first time, either in a long time or ever, at Four Continents, Eric went down on the side by side.
Yeah, that doesn't usually happen.
That doesn't happen. So I would imagine now he's going to have to get into a space where he's not second guessing that. Megan will often touch down, or she might have a problem with the quad Saukow, but at Skate Canada, like she did Bambi splits. Yeah. That was a bad scene. And I'm not saying they can't move beyond that, but they have to move beyond that. And those become harder hurdles to get past.
Eric's been doing a triple Lutz for a while, okay? I competed against him in novice nationals. I did my little double Lutz, double toe, like required combination. And then he comes out and does like a triple Lutz. I'm like, this is not novice level, okay? Eric Radford.
Get the novice.
So technically, I've lost to an eventual world champion. So I can say that.
You made it.
But the point is,
him the skater he is today.
Yes, right. But the point is, he's been landing that triple Lutz for a while. So I think that was just kind of a freak thing for him, and he'll get it back at Worlds. And the thing is, they're such intense competitors, and like, even though our predictions don't show it, I still believe in them, and I want them to succeed because, like Ashley Wagner, they got a lot of haters online, and a lot of people don't really give them the credit or say they're not like a classical skating pair and all that stuff. And I think that they made efforts to improve themselves artistically. They continue to push the envelope technically.